a lot of people don't realize, is that this is a reality that people of color have had in their face constantly, and like it's unfortunately it's the kind of stress that's why Black Americans are so much more likely to have fucking hypertension. It's because the stress of living in a reality where you have a target on your back constantly.
Yeah. And see, and then if I say something and then I get the response, well, it's like Mike was saying, that's what they're used to, or that's what they've grown up in. And then I try my damnedest to say, no, man, no. These fucking clowns they would. Let me just explain to you that this would never happen in New York. Not that racism doesn't exist in New York. Obviously, it does. But
God, I mean, look, me and Rich did an entire episode of Better Than Being Hopeless about segregation on Long Island and Robert Moses and all of that history in Levitt.
But I'm just saying that the response in New York would be completely different from these fucking hillbilly motherfuckers, man. There are some white people out there that aren't going to, just fucking band together with these fucking
certainly
KKK motherfuckers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, the thing about it isn't even so much that. It's about even the people that believe that they are allies don't understand the position that they're in of privilege to be able to be allies.
You're right. I get it.
And it's my tendency is to say that it's complicated. It's not so much complicated as it is nuanced. And because we are a blunt nation, nuance is something that's fucking lost on us for the most part. Not me. But but nuance is something that's lost on us. And when you try to explain things in a nuanced fashion, nobody wants to hear it, especially the people that stand to gain the most from not being able to look at the nuance. And race relations aren't even really all that nuanced. It's just that you need to step out and be able to look at, well, I'm not racist. Okay, take away the word racist and then think about privilege and think about the fact that you are able to do things and have positions and things that you can say that people that that you consider friends and family cannot say or do in a place like Florida, even in a place like New York versus a place like Florida. It's not all rainbows, and it's not all sun and rainbows here. All that redlining shit that happened in places like Florida completely happened in New York and Brooklyn. And all the whole things that we talk about, when people talk about reparations, like, oh, how are we going to pay back? Like, the thing that you need to understand is we were shielded from being able to accumulate wealth because we couldn't own homes. We weren't allowed to own homes. We weren't allowed to have bank accounts. We were literally not allowed to have those things. That's why reparations is something that means something. They think it's just paying money back. But trying to even that thing out is a difficult thing because you, as the people that are not of color, have had the advantages to take has been able to take advantage of all of the things that the system has made available to you.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you keep telling us, oh, it's available to you with your hard work.
Well, no, because there's a huge difference between
that's
equality.
That's their line.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between equality and equity. And that's another thing is like all of these like left-wing social programs that we talk about, that are needed for America to survive. This pandemic has proven that they could all be done. Universal basic income could be done.
Yeah.
And would benefit us. Universal health care can be done and will benefit us. Police reform, can be done and will benefit us.
Yeah, but
then there's the stereotype.
That was always the case. It was always the case.
Right. Then there's the stereotype of that all these social that this was Trump's fucking favorite scare tactic. That all these social programs are dominated by people of color. Bull fucking shit.
It's
down here. It's all fucking white trash, fucking sucking the life out of the fucking government.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. We know that. That statistically, it's not even fucking close to.
But they fucking love the fucking GOP loves to push that shit.
Yeah, of course they do.
Now even with the checks.
Yeah. I've been saying this repeatedly. I don't know how many times I've said it on the podcast in the last couple of months. But the GOP they don't argue in good faith. And they have not, I don't know if they ever have. But it's like people are like, I'm not a racist. I'm a Republican, but I'm not racist. The platforms that the Republicans run on, conservative economics, are racist in their inception.
Yeah.
But they're only conservatives when it suits them.
Oh, of course. Look at spending.
Only fiscally conservative when it suits them. They had the deficit's only an issue when the fucking Democrats want to spend money.
Right. Yeah, right.
Yep.
We haven't heard a word about the fucking deficit in 4 years.
Yeah, but we've heard a lot about the past 10 days, haven't we?
Right, yeah.
Fucking out of nowhere,
it's now the fucking deficit matters? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right.
I rebuilt the military. Dude.
Give me a fucking...
No, see, that's the thing is that, people are like, well, you can't cut military spending. What about our soldiers? That fucking money does not go to the fucking troops. It goes to military contracts.
It goes to Grumman and
yes, right. It goes to Grumman. It goes to
McDonnell Douglas and fucking Boeing, Fairchild or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Whoever's building the jets and the tanks and the ships, that's where the money's going.
Right.
And take it from a veteran.
Right.
How the fuck do these guys get paid what they get paid?
Right.
You want to have a strong military? Start paying them a fucking living wage. More people will fucking volunteer.
Well, we shouldn't have to have the World Central Kitchen, which by the way is a fucking awesome organization. I don't know if you guys know Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy. He was been doing sketches during the pandemic and auctioning them off. And he raised like over $400,000 for World Central Kitchen. Cool. But World Central Kitchen is distributing food to our troops that are protecting the Capitol. Our National Guardsmen that are protecting the Capitol. Why the fuck aren't these guys being fed?
Yeah. Well,
then there was that whole angle they had that because they were sleeping on the Capitol floor. Let me tell you something. I was in the Marine Corps. I would have gave a fucking finger to sleep indoors some nights. So please stop.
Yeah, not only that, but how about barracks that are just filled with mold and pests?
Right.
That are filthy, that are fucking falling apart, that troops have to stay in all the fucking time.
Like you guys said, the money doesn't go to the troops. That's they don't. And we all know they don't take care of the veterans.
Yeah, and obviously, Al, you being a veteran and everything, it's like, these guys like to wave the flag for veterans, but that it's people of color and people from lesser backgrounds that are the ones that are putting their asses on the line, that never gets acknowledged. So that it's like these kids that don't have any other fucking opportunities a lot of times that are putting their asses on the line in the military. They're the ones that are not getting this shit. And they want to raise the flag and be like, oh, support our troops. But if one of those troops went up and fucking were to shake their goddamn hands, they wouldn't take it.
No, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do a segment that we call What's on Your Shelf. And we're going to talk about what kind of content Mike and Al are currently enjoying at home. All right, so we'll catch you guys after the jump. This is the Literate Nerds. All right, so we're back, Literate Nerds. Once again, my guests are Al Pucco and Mike Patterson. And Mike, before we talk about what's on your shelf, I wanted to talk specifically about the podcast that you produce.
Well, I helped launch a podcast called Lies Agreed Upon that you can find at www.liesagreedupon.com. It was an idea that a very close friend of mine, who was a professor at Slippery Rock University in Pennsylvania, had about talking about basically the way that cinema deals with things in a historical sense that are actually things that they're talking about that aren't about now. So this first season of Lies Agreed Upon is about how cinema dealt with 9/11. And these guys, it's Leah Paradis and Brian Krim. They are...
Who are great hosts. They're excellent.
They are absolutely fantastic. Leah's been a friend of mine for many, many years. And Brian is a colleague of hers. And they are just really, really fantastic. And what it's really illuminating to think about when you think about a movie like 300, you think it's a historical, even, a historical fiction.
An ahistorical fiction.
An ahistorical fiction. But it really is about the way we're dealing with things like 9/11.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't deal with them well, obviously.
No. Yeah. We don't really have a track history, a track history of dealing with them well.
Yeah, I mean, even Frank Miller, has in recent years has softened his, because he lived downtown, he lived in Soho.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say Frank Miller, because I just watched the animated series of Red Son.
Yeah.
And, which obviously came out in 2020 and obviously made some really big connections to our world now.
And it's based on the graphic novel's got to be.
Yeah, based on a graphic novel.
It's got to be a couple of years old. I mean,
it's more than that. Like, I think it's more like it's like 10 years old.
If not 20.
Yeah, right. If not 20, right. But they definitely made some, and I found it really interesting. Did you watch that yet?
No, I haven't. I'm very familiar with the source material, of course. Yeah, right. And I love the character designs. Dave Johnson's character designs are incredible.
Yeah, you should watch what they did story-wise with this, in terms of America first versus, Russia first. And it was hella interesting. But definitely check out the first season. I think it's 8 episodes of liesagreedupon.com. Lies Agreed Upon. It's liesagreedupon.com. I'm happy to have been part of the launch of this, and they are killing it.